ridiculous. Oh, thank you. You guys are really, really kind. Very, very kind. What's going on? Bucks County Drum Company Drum Clinic Extravaganza. The title is still in progress, so... But you guys doing well? Now, raise your hands if you have a Bucks County Drum Company drum set. Raise your hands. Cool. Who doesn't? Raise your hands. That's nonsense. Come on. What are you guys waiting on? This thing... First off, get your raffle tickets because you're going to win this kit. That's pretty epic, right? And that snare drum and maybe that microphone. So go back there, get your tickets. But so like Chris said, my name is Jon Loree. I'm a drummer, and I have been playing for 13, 14 years. I tour, I do sessions, I teach, I do all that stuff. And I tour with a rock band called Tantric, if anybody's ever heard of them. So I tour, I play with another pop act called Billy Wilkins. But one of the things that I love, and I kind of just came here not necessarily with a plan. I came here with kind of an idea, and I just want to share it with you guys, if that's cool. So how many people here have social media, like Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff? Raise your hands. Cool. So at Jon's Drum Studio, you're going to take out your phone. You just give me a quick follow on Instagram. That'd be awesome. No, but for real, when it comes to social media, who gets in that rabbit hole of like, okay, I'm watching this guy or this 6-year-old kid, and he's smoking me at the drums. Like, he's just doing stuff that I couldn't even dream of doing. I get in that rabbit hole all the time, and I'm like watching these people, these young drummers, old drummers, and I'm watching them, and how many people see those videos where it's somebody that goes, okay, so you're gonna take right, left, kick, right, left, kick, right, left, together, and then you're going to flam a diddle into a roll that then goes to your floor tom, and you end it, and that's your fill. And who gets lost and goes, Okay. So how do I use that, and how did that guy figure that out? Because I don't know what he's doing. So one thing that I want to share with you guys, and I'll do a little bit of talking about this, is like being creative instead of being copy and paste, right? I get students of mine that will come up to me and they'll go, hey, I saw this guy on Instagram. He's got this sick fill. I want to learn how to do that. And then they're playing a pop country ballad, and they try to throw, into a pop country ballad. And you're like, all right, well, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Or what if we just were creative instead? So number one thing, I'm going to share with you guys 5 ways that I approach creativity, if that's cool. Is that cool with everybody if I do that? This is just what works for me, and you might have a totally different approach, and that's awesome. It does take a little bit of like knowing some rhythm theory, so all the non-drummers in the crowd, sorry if I bore you in advance. But all the drummers, this should make total sense. So number one, usually what I'll do if somebody approaches me and they go, hey, I want to like be creative. I need some fills. Like I need some stuff. I need material. What do I do? How do I get there? And what I'll do is I'll say, okay, let's just take a pattern. Let's just one pattern. So everybody, you know your linear patterns, right? So all types of different limbs going around the kit. So we've got like a pattern like this. What if we just took, right? What if our fill was just right, left, right, kick? Let's just start with that. So we've got. Not a bad fill, right? Like, it does the job. I'm sure in some context that would sound pretty cool, right? But how can we take that and how can we change it? There's like 5 different ways that we can approach changing that drum fill. Number one would be, what if we took that fill and just orchestrated it differently? Nothing crazy, right? Like, let's just take right, left, right kick and put it somewhere else. Like, that's creative, and none of that was any different than right, left, right, kick. I didn't do anything other than put my right hand somewhere new, put my left hand somewhere new, and now we've got something way more creative sounding than just right, left, right, kick on the snare. So, of course, this takes some getting used to just that thing, but you're creative now. You've got something that sounds a little bit more interesting. What would be the second way? What's another way that we can change this thing up? I like that. Let's come back to that idea. So, what if we did this? What if we took a different subdivision? So we've got now the orchestration part. The orchestration is down. Sounds sick, right? You can do anything, any sort of tempo, whatever groove you're working with. But what if we took a different subdivision? So what if we changed it to some eighth notes? Something like a 1 and 2 and... Nothing different, right? Nothing different than right, left, right, kick. All I've done is turn it into eighth notes and then finish it out with some 16th notes, right? Right? Something sounds a lot more creative, right? So the first step, what we did was we took this and we orchestrated it differently, right? The second step would be we take this and turn it into a different subdivision. Now, does it have to be one of those like super sterile eighth note, 16th note sounds? No, you could turn these into triplets, right? So if you've got triplets and you do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that's 12, right? And so now you can take this 4-note pattern, turn it into some triplets. So you've got triplets work, right? The triplets sound interesting. They're a little bit different, but you've got your triplets, right? Pretty sick. So all I've done, I've taken the orchestration, I've turned it into something different, right? You've got your eighth notes, you've got your triplets. You can take a different subdivision and orchestrate that differently on the kit. Now, what would be one of the other ways that we can do this? So a third way that we can take right, left, right, kick. Now, you don't have to just do right, left, right, kick, right? You've got 3 notes in a bass drum. That could be any combination of 3 notes in a bass drum. So you could do, what about right, left, left kick? Kind of throwing it around different spots, right? You've got right, left kick. You could do right, left, right kick. You could do something like take that right, left kick, you move it wherever you want. So we've changed it 3 ways. We've changed the orchestration, we've changed the subdivision, we've also changed the sticking pattern. So now our pattern sounds totally different than where we started, right? And let me preface this. I understand that the room, you guys, some of you guys are very seasoned players. You understand this, right? But if you have that moment where you're trying to teach somebody something different, instead of this copy and paste mentality of, hey, play this pattern, you can go, how else can you make this pattern sound different, right? So these are the ways in which to do that. The fourth way that we can change this with, which this man alluded to, was you put the bass drum somewhere else, right? You can totally change that up. So one of the ways that you can do it, let's put the bass drum, if we put it on the E instead of the right? So now we've had it on the for a long time. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and right? But what if we put it on the E? So we've got... You take that pattern and you move it somewhere different. Now you've got that bass drum somewhere else. What if we just took it, right? If you've got right, left, right kick, what if we put a second bass drum in there? Do we have to just stick with one bass drum? No, right? So I'm a big John Bonham fan, who isn't, right? Like, everybody is. But one of his things, when I learned that Bonham was a single pedal guy, I sold my double bass pedal and said, I don't want that anymore. So I've been rocking the single pedal for quite some time now, and I love Bonham's approach to the foot. So let's turn it into, instead of right, left, right kick, what about right, left, kick, kick? So. Now we're cooking, right? We've got some gas now. Things are starting to move. Of course, if you're teaching or you're in those scenarios where you're like, okay, well, yeah, this all makes sense, but I don't have the foot triplet thing down, right? And I'm referring to it as triplets, even though, yeah, they were playing some sort of 16th note or 32nd note. But you got to go back and do all that stuff, right? In order for you to do something like a right, left kick, you got to have some understanding of, you got to have some doubles, right? You got to have some left hand movement. You got to have some right hand movement. So all of these things, you got to get working first until you can, all right, you can't really just start there. So, there's a little bit of a caveat to all this. So what we've done, right? So we've done 4 different ways of how we can move this thing around. You've got right, left, right kick is where we've started, and all we've done was change certain aspects of it. So we started with the orchestration, moving it around the kit. Went to the second thing, which is the subdivision, moved around what subdivision we're using and when. And the third thing, we changed the sticking pattern. Fourth thing, we changed the bass drum. What would be the very last thing? Now, I'll say this. A fill can be really, really boring if it's the same thing for all 4 beats, right? So having is great, but what if we just did something different? What if that was just a part of the fill? Now we've got a cooking, so what if we just got... all of that, applaud if you would like. I appreciate the applause. But all of that is just me taking something, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I said, I didn't come here with a plan. I came here with an idea, and that idea was just to show you guys how to get, that creativity cooking around the kit, right? So what I want to talk about next, if it's cool, I'd like to just share with you at least my story behind Bucks County Drums. Now, this is the company, right? Chris is the man, right? So everybody, round of applause for putting this on. And if you can't tell already, I'm real nervous to do this thing because these guys, the players that I'm with, Kevin and Bernard, are just... They're legends. They're legends. These guys are awesome. And whenever I watch either of them play, it's just, I'm going to do it today. You're going to just see me like in awe with my jaw like, you're joking, right? It's such an honor to be here. And years ago when I was coming up, before I started touring, before I really started doing a whole lot of gigging, I was playing in Doylestown. Has anybody played Puck live? In Doylestown? Yeah. You know the house kit that's at Puck Live in Doylestown. It's a Bucks County Drum Company drum set in the basement of Puck Live. And I was playing a cover band gig, and I've got my cymbals and my hardware and a snare and the pedal, and I'm like, another house kit. I can't take another house kit. It's not going to be good. The heads are going to be all smashed and out of tune. It's going to sound terrible. There's going to be all these problems with it that any house kit has. But this house kit was amazing. Like, I hit the rack tom. That was the first thing I hit, and I was like, you got to be joking. This is the house kit? Are you sure? Like, I shouldn't be playing this. But the house kit sounded so good. And right after that, I took down all the information. I'm like, who is this guy? Who builds these? Oh, Chris? Okay. What's his phone number? What's his email? how do I reach this guy? So after that, I was playing in a local band called Triple Addiction for a while with my brothers, and so I had hit up Chris, and I was like, hey, I'm just ready to get a custom kit, and I'm always shopping for some sort of artist deal or whatever, and I was like, can you help me out? And right away, just let's have you down to the shop, check it out. And I went to the shop, tried out a bunch of drum sets, and I saw the one cherry kit that was in the corner, and I was like, that's going to be my drum set. I just know it, And I just looked at it. I'm like, that looks like my kit. And then, Chris, you had said to me, this looks like your kit. And I was like, oh, thank God he said so, because I was hoping nobody bought it yet. But yes, these drums, you can hear it, and you'll hear the examples of all the other drums today. But this is the raffle kit. You know what I mean? Like, and not to slight it in any way, but I'm just saying, like, you got to be, Like, what? This thing is so good. But yeah, I love the company. But, I just really hope that maybe you guys got something out of what I was saying today and giving you some sort of insight. If you're a teacher, this is one of the ways to approach that. And if you're a new drummer, you're new to the instrument, you can take any sort of pattern that you have and change it in these 5 ways. And now you're just thinking creatively. You're not copy and paste drumming anymore. You're not taking something that somebody else did and trying to apply it to your song. Now you're becoming yourself. And I found a lot of strength in that I was able to go, okay, well, how can I sit down and on a piece of paper write out the changes for this fill that I'm looking to do? And it was just, it's the way to approach it. So does anybody have any questions? No. Chris? Yeah, all right. Yeah. So I tour with a rock band called Tantric. We do upwards of 150 shows a year. So we're always on the road. And it's just a blast. I play Bucks County drums when I'm on the road. I've got 3 drum sets with them. And for one, everybody comments on the drums and says that they're awesome. But yeah, living on the road and playing shows, playing music for people is just a passion. So love it. Any other questions? I am the youngest. I'm 26, and I'm in this rock band with these guys that are, older. We'll say older. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get, I actually have a laptop that's got a program where I can save it as a PDF file, kind of take it wherever I want, that type of thing. But I love taking a variation and writing it out so that I can physically look at it. And I was never a reader when I was growing up playing drums. I didn't want, I wrote out everything I was going to say, and I still didn't read any of it. So I don't like to read sheet music, but I like it more so. I attribute sheet music, and nobody uses them anymore, but anybody have a roadmap in their car? Yeah. Hey, all right, one roadmap. He still got it. Nice, hanging on. Love it. But I attribute reading sheet music to a roadmap, right? So if you have it written out, just like you would look at a map. You're not looking at your map at the windshield and trying to steer, right? That doesn't really work. So you kind of got to plot out where you're going, and I use sheet music as that. So I'll take something like one of these variations, write it out real quick, and go, okay, now let me just try to play it, and let me try to think of another variation. I won't write out, all of them, because that would be tons. But yeah, that's a short of it. Any other questions on this? No, cool. You mind if I just play a little bit more? Because I don't get to play a drum set this cool and, in this setting, so I appreciate you guys listening to me banter for a little bit. Sorry. I just got carried. I got carried away. No need to keep going. But thank you guys so much. Oh, question. Yo, hey. With Bucks County drum sets in general, yeah, I've got 3 of them. One is on the road right now, but I've got 2 at my house, and they're very different sounds. Again, like room makes a difference. Microphone placement, all that makes a difference. But the one big difference is the drums themselves. Like good drums, good heads, can't go wrong, right? Even the worst sounding SM58 that you place on a rack tom will still sound really good with this kit, right? So the drums make a huge difference, and it's what I've been using to record for a long time now. Yo. It depends. It depends on the kit. So one of my kits, right now on here are G2s, by the way, if that was your question. But one of my go-tos I've got a birch kit at home. That one I use onyx heads, Evans onyx on those. Usually HD dry snare head is a good combination. That's one of my favorite heads just ever. HD heavyweight is also a new thing that they came out with. They put the dry, like the dots on the thing, they put that on everything nowadays. So a dry heavyweight is really good too. I've got a 8x14 black brass snare that Chris built for me, and that thing sounds awesome with an HD dry on it. So, and then for the kick, an EMAD too, but I did switch to the calf tone kick for one of my more vintage style drum sets. So, different head combinations, you'd be surprised with what you can get out of different combinations between the top and the bottom. So, cool. Any other questions? All right. Then there we go. Oh, hey. Yo, hey, Mike. What's up? I wish I did. I fully endorse Dunkin' Donuts. Lots of mocha. The more mocha, the better. Awesome. Well, I'm going to turn it back over to Chris now, and he's going to turn it over to Kevin. But thank you guys for letting me jam and riff for a little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. How y'all doing? Yeah. I got a piece of gum stuck in my throat. Holy shit. That's crazy. Let's hear it for Chris Carr and Bucks County Drums. Jon Loree, killing it over there, man. So pleasure to meet you. Really spectacular. I'm so glad that you're teaching and everything, and I actually used some of your concepts during that one part. So, man, I tell you what, I'm going to win this kit tonight, and I'm taking this home, because that's a good one right there. And so, well, I saw the snare drum. This is a raw steel snare drum, 5-inch. And that kit, this snare right here, is the snare that goes with the kit, which is amazing. But then I saw that one, and that's going to be my signature snare, right? Maybe? We'll work on it? Okay, cool. No, I'm walking home with that one. I'll use it tonight on tonight's gig. Yeah, really cool. Thank you guys so much. Let me catch my breath a little bit here. So, my name is Kevin Soffera. I live in the Lehigh Valley, Nazareth, PA. I own a recording studio called Hybrid Studios. I've had that for a while now. I've had it that's 12 years now. I do production there. So I started out recording drums for other artists, I would say probably the early 90s, late 90s. I had a version of Pro Tools that didn't ever work, but I made it work, so it was really hard to get shit done. But the point is that way back when, I thought it would be cool to record drums for people that were not in my studio. Not because I didn't want them there, it's just that there were a lot of people contacting me from lots of other places that had no budget to get me to the studio so I could record stuff at my home. The thing about drummers is you need a place to rehearse. You can't just do this in a home where your parents aren't digging in or your neighbors, so you always have to find a space for your drums. So when I did that, I wanted to make a space that I could also record drums. So a good sounding room really helps make drums sound good and be able to record. So over the years, my studio, which was just a drum tracking studio, I would teach there and also record drums for other artists. They would send me tracks, and I would send those tracks back to them. You know, it's a file transfer system. And it was cool. It was very cool. I did a lot of records that way, and a lot of TV stuff. But when I moved to our new home in Nazareth, I wanted to build a studio that I could also produce bands. So besides doing the drum thing, I also produce artists now. I think I was recording someone about maybe 15 years ago, and it was just drums. And they're like, "Can you produce my record?" And I said, "Yes, I can." Then I went on the internet and figured out how to do that, because I did not know how to do that. And of course, you can't just find that on the internet, but I definitely found a lot of things that were helpful to me to help artists record in a creative and safe environment, as well as the tech side of things, which I'm still trying to figure out. There's a lot of stuff going on in terms of recording. But as a drummer, I learned to diversify so that way I could work more. When there's no live gigs, you can teach. When you can't teach for whatever reason, you can record. You could be a drum tech. You can be a mentor to someone. You could be a Broadway show drummer. There's lots of different things to do with the instrument if you want to work. You just want to play drums for fun and play in a band, that's cool. That's how I started out. But I figured if someone was going to pay me to do this for a living, I could try to find out as many ways to do it. So besides just being a drummer in a certain kind of genre, I wanted to figure out all the genres. Doesn't mean you're going to be a master at that. That just means if you can get your bases covered and someone calls a bossa nova, you could play it. Or you could play a Latin tune on this side, a jazz tune on this side. I mean, definitely study it so that way you can get good at it. But at the same time, as long as you can get a lot of knowledge, you can learn and get better as you go, but you can get more job opportunities that way. And another way is to obviously diversify other than just playing live, studio drumming and things like that. For me, I do sing a little bit, not today, but another way for me to be involved with music is help composing and arranging. So with that, all the tracks that you heard, those are my tunes. I have tons of that stuff. It's a great way to practice. We all practice with metronomes, hopefully, and clicks and whatnot. So I get a chance to write in the studio via MIDI instruments. I play a little bit of bass, a little bit of keyboards. Drums are my main instrument. So I use all that knowledge to be able to create music so that way I can play to it. I can use it as music for TV. I work for TV license companies, so we do music syncs. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So learning that kind of thing also diversified my playing so that besides playing drums, I could also help compose, arrange, write, if you will. That ended up turning into more production. So that ended up being able to produce other people's records, whether I played on it or not. Help them create their music, help them realize their, where they came from and where they want to end up in their music. I can facilitate that. And that's really cool because, playing on stage and making the band happy and grooving. Last night I had a gig in Morristown, New Jersey, and the band was cooking, and I didn't do any of that stuff. I did a little bit, But we're doing Give Me One Reason, we're doing some Chris Stapleton, we're doing September, we're doing all that stuff, and we're cooking it, and it felt amazing. The bass player was great. And that's one way to really experience, music joy, is to be there to represent and also support that artist. Today I was supporting me. This is my jam. So I could do what I want right here. And these drums spoke to me, and that's why I played that. It wasn't pre-planned, except for the music. But the other way is obviously in production and engineering. I suggest that every drummer out here learn how to record your drums. I can't teach that today, but there's lots of information out there. You could do it very simply with just a few microphones, even just one microphone, and be able to record yourself. One, it helps you listen to yourself and figure out what you're doing, good and bad, as well as to, maybe post some cool videos, get some social media presence, and that's a great way to promote yourself. And also criticize yourself. It's a good way to understand what you're doing wrong and right. The reason I got on the tangent is because I was telling you who I was. I have a recording studio, and it's been super cool, and it's really helped me grow as a drummer. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the studio side of things and how to work with a click track or a metronome. I didn't put the headphones on until the music was playing, so when the music was playing, I was listening to a click track, which is just click, click, click. Tells me what the tempo is, and I play to that. I also had the music, right? Those are two very different things. The click track is very mechanical. It's on the grid, meaning it doesn't move. It's perfect. We are not. The music is not perfect. The music moves off the grid. It flows, it goes this way, it goes that way. That's what makes music so cool and expressive. So you have to marriage those two things together. So as I'm listening to that, I hear click, 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 and I also hear la, 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 this real legato thing. Those are two very different things. That's note value as well. Most of the clicks I had were quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, you hear just that note. That note actually lasts to the next note. So if you could sustain that would go da, 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 da. So there's space in between those notes. To me, that's more important than the actual click. If you don't pay attention to the space, you will rush, you will drag, you will play incorrect subdivisions. That space is where time lives. This dictates when it starts and when it's over. We cannot, yes, you can play on that click, but unfortunately, because we are not a computer, we can't always be perfect on that, and nor do we want to. And if you want to, we can fix that in the mix. And that's what you do. There are certain styles of music that need to be directly on the grid, and that's cool. I send tracks to people in Nashville, and I'm laying down some pretty good stuff. I can see where my stuff lines up, and it's pretty good. I don't fix any of it because when they get it, they quantize the entire thing. That's just what they do. Most stuff, that's a style of music. It's actually a genre nowadays. It's not just because, you can't play, let's fix this. It's not about that. That's a sound that they're looking for. Who am I to judge? I played my butt off. They were happy. The rest of the band played with it. A great song came of it. That's cool. That's what has to happen. There's a difference than fixing things that you can't fix yourself. If you can't sing, take lessons. If you can't play, take lessons. Once you get good at it, those things can be improved, obviously, by practicing. But then if a producer or someone wants to make the track even better, they can fix things. And it's not about because you can't play. It's because in that moment, your track was special. There's no need to redo it because of that one note. Live, it's just like live. You can't go back and fix that. And that's cool. That's the beauty of live music. But with a recording, you can actually fix that so that the end listener enjoys the experience. They don't go, oh, he was off right there. No one cares at that point. What they do care is that when you can actually play it live, and hopefully you can. But let's get back to this, the difference between the music and the click. Let's do a little experiment. Set this down. Jon was talking about subdivisions, which is super cool for creating fills and things like that. I'm going to go with my hands. Okay, I want you guys all to clap with me. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. When we all do an eighth note, a lot less time in between. Here you have to like wait to see what's he going to do. What is he going to do? Is he going to not clap again? Is he going to do something weird? You know, I was trying to keep some time, obviously. Again, I'm just thinking in my head. The entire time I was doing, don't clap. The entire time I was doing this, I was thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So let's do this. Let's all clap that real big note, and I'm going to count, but we're not going to play all the notes. We're just going to play the big note. All right, I'll count us in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We're right on the money. Generally speaking, there was a couple nice little flares in there, but other than that, that was way freaking easier, right? So I'm talking subdivisions there. That's a quarter note that I'm listening to normally, okay? Let's just say general music in general. I'm listening to a quarter note, but it's tempo decisive. So meaning that if the song is really slow, right? I'm not going to put a click on. I'm going to go. So my click might be like eighth note triplet right there, right? If the song is really fast, I don't need click. I just click, 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 you know, that kind of thing. So the click subdivision, all right, helps me lock into the beat. Let's get away from the sound or the word click. Let's just talk pulse. Now we're not talking about the mechanical instrument that's in a studio or your metronome. We're just talking about pulse. If a drummer can't play pulse, then your right, left, right, rights and your finger control and your double bass and even the sound of the drums don't mean anything. Unless you're playing free jazz, which, believe it or not, there's still a pulse there. It's just very interpretive. But when you're playing a pulse, as a drummer, or any musician, but I'll just say for a drummer right now, if you can't figure out how to play a proper pulse, then your other things don't mean anything. There's no reference point. So if I go right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, that's speeding up and slowing down. It makes no sense mathematically. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be in the ballpark, right? So let's talk subdivisions like Jon was talking. All of our fills can be made of all different subdivisions. You could have a 3-note grouping playing in 4s. So if you're playing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you know, and you get like polyrhythms. We're not really talking about that right now. We're just talking about dividing a pulse. I don't have a metronome except for in my ears, so I can't use it. So we'll do another experiment. Not experiment, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, no, I'm fine. That's good. No one will be able to hear that. It's more just for. It also shows that I can't actually play it myself. I don't believe. No. We have to know. We're going to start with whole notes, and we're going to go to 30-second notes. Okay. So, think of it like of a family tree. We got the whole note up here. That's the big papa, right? He's going to last for 4 notes. If we're in 4/4, that's what we're doing. So 4 pulses, let's say. So that's just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our whole note. We're going to then divide that into 2 half notes. Then we're going to do a half note triplet, which is 3 half notes. Then we're going to do quarter notes. Then we're going to do a quarter note triplet. Then we're going to do 8 notes. Then we're going to do 8 note triplets. And I believe in doing then 5/16 notes per quarter note because it's used. It's not just some like, hey, you're not playing with Zappa. You can't do 5. No, you can. And it's also another way to divide that pizza, if you will, in 5 pieces. And again, it just narrows down the sections of your pulse so you can get fine-tuned in to the pulse. And that's what we're trying to do right here. So we're going to go 5s, which is just a grouping of 5/16 notes per quarter. Then we're also going to go 16th note triplets, which is 6 notes per quarter. Then we're going to do 7s, which is 7 16th notes per quarter. And then we're going to do 8 notes per quarter, which is 30 seconds. We as drummers normally deal with quarter notes, 8th notes, 8th note triplets, 16th note triplets, and sometimes 30 seconds. They can go on forever, I guess, not really, but go to 64ths and stuff. Some killer violin players play that stuff, and it's pretty mind-blowing. But we're going to just go from whole note to 30 seconds, okay? You could do this, actually I'm going to do it on my chest. It's actually better because you can actually feel the pulse. It's then internalized. I had a teacher at Musicians Institute. His name was Steve Houghton. I played big band in my high school. I'm sorry. I think I should do this because it might, I don't know, for recording purposes. But I played in big band in my high school. We had a great band at Easton High School. Had a great teacher there. I went to MI, Musicians Institute, and I studied there for basically a degree in drumming, which sounds crazy. It's actually more of a performance degree. I went there just for me. I wanted to be a better player. It wasn't about getting a degree. It was just to be a better player. And there were specific people that were teaching at the school that I really wanted to be part of. I wanted to be a sponge around those guys. Steve Houghton is a guy that writes great books on big band drumming. He's a graduate of North Texas State, really great drummer. And when he was leading the big band, I would play a tune. We'd play like Time Bomb, a Buddy Rich tune, and all it says is quarter note equals El Fasto. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what is that? He's like, okay, count up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like, nope, stop the band, blah, blah, blah. And the band wasn't students. They were some of the Tonight Show band and stuff like that. So they're just, wah, wah, wah. So, of course, they throw you into fire like that. But what he used to do is when we used to count off tunes, he would be behind me, and he would tap on my shoulder. It felt like he was punching me, but it really helped a lot. So it'd be like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of thing. So being able to feel your pulse is really important. This is also, again, coming back to just learning how to play in time. If we can't play in time, none of the other stuff matters. Technique and all that stuff matters. Once you know time, you have to know it, right? Pulse. So, a good exercise is just keeping, a pulse with your foot or with the metronome, obviously, and playing those subdivisions and playing it on yourself. So, I'll count out loud, and we're going to play a whole note down to 30 seconds. And a good place to start is play the 30-second notes first, so you know how fast you have to be. So, if I can't go like this, then I better not start at 1, 2, whatever, So I'm going to go, make it easy on myself. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's my pulse right now. What's interesting is while I'm doing this, I'm not just thinking that. All the subdivisions are going through my head right now. Stop, but stop, but pop, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count that fast. 1 ta 2 ta 3 ta 4. That's a half note triplet. It falls on every 4th, 8th note. 1 ta 2 ta 4 ta 1 ta 2. If I stop my foot, it's kind of cool because now you can make this 1, 2, 3, 4. Or, you can do some fun stuff with that. Again, this is getting back to just understanding these note values, okay? No, not note values, just in terms of pulse for now. I'll talk about the values in a second. All right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E. That's too fast. If I go like, 1E and 2E and there you go. That's easier to count then, right? So 1, 2, 3, half notes. 1, 2, 3. A half note triplet, which is 1, ta. I'm going to go to quarter notes now. 1, 2, 3. Then quarter note triplet, which is every other one. 1, ta, 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 go to 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3. 8th note triple stem. 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3. I'm going to go 4, which is 16. 1 E and F, E and F. Then I'm going to go 5, which is going to alternate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to go 6s, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then I'm going to go 7s. 1, 2, and then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost my pulse right there. So I'm not even talking about what you can do with that on the kit. You can orchestrate all that stuff. That's how you come up with fills. That's how you change groove manipulation. You know, the first thing I played, just so you can understand what I'm talking about, I wanted to do a couple things within the opener that you might have now remembered. So when I do talk about it, the first thing I played, I didn't even use the kick drum. I was just playing a cross stick, and I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm playing 16th notes with my hi-hat. Then I played 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to. So I switched my subdivision. Then I played 8th notes. Then I played a half note trip at 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1, that kind of stuff. So I was showing you some subdivisions, not because I was going to go, see, that stuff works. It really does work. It's about because that's the kind of stuff that then makes all this other stuff make sense. So that way we're just not playing random notes and all that thing. And I know you don't play random notes. I'm just talking about really fine-tuning into that quarter note or that pulse. I'm going to move on about that and just talk about the value of those. And also this is another cool way to look at it. And I'm going to swear here, so hold your ears. You can't stop time, but you can fuck with it. That's a good one, because technically you can't stop time. We all know that. But we can mess with it while we're on that journey. And that means with a groove, too. I mean, you know, if something starts at 120 BPM, you better end at 120. Doesn't mean a live situation you can't get excited and have fun as long as everyone is doing it. You all have to do it together, right? So if you do it together, that means what we're doing is we're messing with it. And that's kind of like the ebb and flow of time. But you can't stop it, right? So we better learn how to work with it. So everything you do makes sense mathematically on the grid. Then you can have some fun with it after you nail it. You don't want the mistakes to be just mistakes. You want to purposely I meant to drag that. I meant to rush it. That kind of thing, right? Or squeeze them together instead of being like real even, da 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 da. You can go da 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 da, you know, that kind of thing, and make them feel kind of funky. You can flam them, and that sounds kind of cool. It creates tension. It creates all kinds of fun stuff. But when I'm playing a groove, I imagine myself being a clock. So what you're seeing when you see me is just the big hands. You know, it's 2 o'clock, right? Well, actually, it's, 98 on the BPM. But what happens is that when you go deeper inside the clock, there are all these big gears down to little gears, down to little gears, down to little gears. And all those gears are going in time perfectly. But they're doing it at different rates. So you'll have 1, 2, there's another click that's going, while the 1, 2 is still going, and, all these things are happening, and they're all in time. When you can actually hear that stuff all the time, that solidifies your pulse. So just don't go, hey, I'm going to count this song in, guys. 1. Where are you? You got to count these guys in sometimes and go 1, 2, 3, or maybe actually go 1, 2, 3, or if it's a slow tune, go 1, 2, 3, and that right there sets you up already. You're already feeling the subdivisions, and you're locked in better, and music feels better that way. Okay. Real quick, let's talk a little bit about the value of those notes, because if you're dealing with a whole note compared to a 30-second is much smaller, and it will sound smaller, and you can interpret that on a drum set. Smaller drums, smaller cymbals, tighter sound. If you want to play something big, bold type stuff, then you're talking half notes. You're talking half note triplets. So you want to use big drums. You don't want to be a splash and go beep. You know, it's not a good interpretation. That's definitely like a big band knowledge, learning how to sing notes. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, a quarter, 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 quarter. I'm letting my voice stretch out a little bit so that it fills up that gap. A lot to talk about. I appreciate you listening to me. So I'm really like, that's a big thing with me when I teach, and it really helps me lock in with what's going on in terms of time and then rhythm. And then everything I play is based in that. So I'm not going to lie, I'm not hearing every subdivision while I'm playing, but I'm hearing the ones that I need to hear at that time. So if the song is slow, good for the song. It's not the feel. Whatever song is in my head. I may not even ever play a 16th note. Even that I may not play, but I still need to hear it. At this point, I'm not thinking ta ta two ta ta three ta ta. That's not really doing me any good right now. But I am hearing other subdivisions that I might want to use. Subdivision I was working, but I had a bold sound in my head. I didn't want to just go. I wanted, because the bass player in my head said do that. You know, my music in my head is really great. I'm sorry you can't hear it right now. So what I'm actually playing sounds really cool. You know, if I go 1, 2, 3. You know that song, right? So, but with that being said, during that time, I wasn't the whole time counting. I was hearing this, and because it's such a big song, I was actually hearing this. You know, maybe even. Because that note choice or that pulse actually makes the thing sound bigger. Instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, you know. That sounds like too constructed, right? With all the knowledge of all those pulse divisions, let's do a little bit of groove manipulation. What is that? That means when you're playing a groove, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's a great way to have creativity on the kit. I'm just using subdivisions in the hi-hat to create a feel, right? So suppose I give you an 8th note straight feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's going to be in your head, and all of a sudden I'm going to play a swung. I like to use the word swung because it's a little swunky and a little swanky. Then I'm going to play this in a triplet feel, but I'm not going to tell you, and it's just going to happen, and it's going to kind of make the groove sound like, oh, is he slowing down? Is he speeding up? But you're still going to kind of hear 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Not that, but anyway, you get the idea. So I'm just doing some groove manipulation using subdivisions. That's it, right? You can get higher thinking, do different layers and things like that. Chris, how much time do I got? A lot. No, I don't. What? Okay. You said soon? Okay, cool. I got cymbal ears. All I got is metronome in my head. Okay. Say again? No, I have one more thing to do. Okay, not now.
I'll sit back there.
All right, guys. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. I hope you had a wonderful day. These drums, just to tell you what I love what Jon did, and I had that in my head as well. I heard about these drums a few years ago. I went to see a clinic with Mike Dawson at Pot Live, and I saw a couple kids on stage. I was playing another drum company at that time, and I had been with them since 1988. I was lucky enough to get endorsed with a drum company after school. It was like it was really nice. I was very fortunate, and I played that drum company for very long. And I probably would have kept going. Unfortunately, I felt that my instrument wasn't inspiring to me anymore. It was I thought someone said it was a sound that I had heard for a long time, and I didn't know how to make another sound on that drum set. I tried everything, you know. I tried all different kinds of sounds, and I couldn't make that drum set do other things, and I wanted an inspiration. So out of nowhere, I went to this drum clinic, and I heard these drums, and it was this. At that point, it was a semi-solid kit, which I actually don't own, but the kit had this roar coming off of it that was different, and focus tone. If you guys know the drummer Thomas Pridgeon, who's a wonderful drummer, I'm a huge fan, and he has the sound that I was looking for, and that's the drum set that I had. And I was like, what's going on with this kit? I don't understand it. I met Chris. I now have 3 drum sets. There's a 4th one on the way, a jazz kit. I have a standard, not standard, nothing is standard, but I have a Birch kit that is a very tight, controlled sound. The drums almost have like piano key notes, like dum, 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 dum. Very, very precise. I use that for my modern recording and pop and things like that. Even fusion, it's very wonderful for fusion. It's like at the 8-inch down to the 16. Then I have this kit that is probably my favorite. I have an O kit that basically is this vibe. It's wide open. It's complicated in tone. It's got a saturated, almost not overly compressed sound, but it has a little dirt to it. So I know these are weird words to talk about, like, you know, oh, it's saturated, it's compressed, no, it just has more of a complicated tone. So when you hit the drum, it's not just it's technically a perfect note, but there's a lot of stuff going on because of the opening up of it. And then I have a maple kit, which is pretty much just a great all-around kit. It can do like best of both worlds. So these kits have inspired me to be a better drummer, and it has helped me find a sound that I had been looking for years. And I'm really, really honored to be an artist. I want to do as much as I can for this company because I believe that the right instrument will help you be a better player and performer. As long as that instrument speaks to you, you know. These things are made out of wood. They're not flexible. When I play these drumsticks, I almost feel like they're rubber in my hands. That's how I wanted the drums to be. I don't want them to fight me. I want them to kind of move and groove with me, and these drums do that. I'm going to play a couple of tracks here. So bear with me. We're going to start, they're going to stop. But these tracks are to demonstrate how these drums sound in music we may all hear. These are tracks that I composed and wrote for a company called Gramoscope. These songs are currently on the shows Wicked Tuna, American Pickers, Monster Garage. We work for a company that does a lot of National Geographic stuff. So these are some tracks from that. I'm going to play to them, and I hope you enjoy it. If there's any questions after that, great. And then we'll move on with the show and have some other cool conversations. So thank you, guys. I'm going to play some tracks. Enjoy it. All right. Woo. you, everyone. Much appreciated. All right, cool. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Bernard Purdie.
That's it? I've been waiting all day. All right. Yep. Wrong stick. La-da-dee-dee-da. All right. Everybody enjoyed themselves so far? I think my wife been messing with my sticks.
Going away.
Nice. Well, I'm glad anybody in the... Man, leave my set alone. Well, so far so good. It's been a wonderful day. I've been teaching for a long time. And I like teaching. But the young man today, he did all right. We all have our different ways of doing things and how we do it. And I try my best not to be super technical. I've gotten into trouble because I like the idea of being technical, but I don't like the idea of doing it so much that you forget. You miss the fun. And I love the fun. I'm very fortunate. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. The only problem is that I wanted to kill my teacher. Yeah, he made me work. It was a job. J-O-B, what he used to say. If you're going to do it right. If you're not, get out. I was 3 years old at that time. Yeah, he made me mad. But I didn't let him get under my skin because I wanted to play the drums. And I was determined to be good at it. And the one person that knows how good I wanted to be at it, I married her because she liked my looks. She couldn't stand me when I wouldn't let her watch me practice. I'm going to have to take a second while we talk here for a minute. only because I got to give a little twist in the snare drum here. This was given to me 25 years ago. It got me into trouble. It took almost 5, 6 years before the airlines would let me take it through. Hey, it's my instrument. It belongs to what I do when I got to go play the music. And they would say, Mr. Purdie, you keep telling us that same thing. Now, why is it part of your music? And the simple reason is that I need it to tighten the heads, but I also need it to make sure that I'm right on. And they looked at me, kind of strange, but because I was going through the same line every week, they kind of, all right, well, maybe he's all right. And that took me 20 years. 20. And they still complained about that wrench. And then I got good. I told myself I would never do anything to hurt anybody because that means I would end up hurting myself. And I'm not going to do that. I looked too good when I started taking my wife around with me. Boy, did I get away with it. Whew. I apologize for all the unnecessary stuff that happened here. I'm sorry. I really am. But she's been a good sport. She's got a shaker. And if you're going to play the shaker, please play it like this. Stay with me. Just like this. I don't care what tempo it's at, but just do this. Don't try to follow me. Just do this. Oh. And it works. She's finally getting the picture, you know. Thank you, dear. And I've even learned how to say the magic words. Yes, dear. Tonight, you've heard a lot of everything. And it's been a good day. It has really been a good day. So, I'm going to be a little easy on you. I'm not going to make you stay here for the next 3 hours. Next 2 hours. Well, maybe the next hour, you know. We break it down. You guys have been here for 3 hours already. But I want to give you just a taste. Before the day is out, I'm going to give you things that my wife likes. But the biggest thing for me I practice what I preach because I'm good. Tempo is everything. You can talk as long as you want if people can feel you. And I want to make sure you can hear me too. I met a lot of young drummers here today. I know that they don't know what I do. And everybody keeps telling them, oh, well, you know, he's good, man. He's good. Yes, I'm good. I'm good because I look good doing what I do. And for those of you who do not know, I got new cymbals. And they look good. They sound good too. I don't know who tuned my floor tom tonight. Woo! That's beautiful. Hey! The one thing that you learn from me is to practice what you preach. And the one thing that you hear is that I like to do things slow and easy. I don't like to work hard. I worked hard for that many years. Wow! Like I said, I practice what I preach. Time is everything. Everything. It means everything to me. It's delivery. Ha. Ooh. Ah. Easy does it. Yes. Ooh. Time is everything also. Like I said, I practice what I preach. But you need to enjoy what you do. For all the new drummers, you young ones, I want you to stop trying to kill the drums. I want you to fall in love with the drums. Make them sound good. And look good doing it, no matter what happens. They will appreciate it. I got you, man. I got you covered. Oh! And hey. My teacher, God bless him, it only took me 20 years to catch on to what he did to me. Yeah, I became a teacher. Only because I don't like to see people struggle and get the wrong concept of what drumming is all about. So I became the one that looks good doing what he's doing. Yeah. And I'm not going to give you the Purdie shuffle yet. So you're just going to have to wait. I want you to realize that I have fun what I do. But it's still a job. Uh-huh. So when you do the job and you do it right, you don't have to be loud. You don't have to be hard. You got to be good. Look at it that way. And for all the young ones, put a smile on your face. I didn't do that. Hey, when I practice, this is the tempo. Because everybody wants to groove. You can groove, you don't have to be loud and wrong. Because when you're loud and wrong, because you're definitely going to make mistakes. I do all the time. A. Ha, do, do. My. Oh, hey. No. All right. And for those of you who are so really, really young, I bet you didn't know I sang. But my smile says it all. All right. And this I can do with my eyes closed. And they're always wide open. Yes. Well, I had to learn how to play flatfoot first. Because my teacher made me. Yeah, he made me. But I learned something. That my cross stick became worldwide known as dynamite. Everybody was right and good today. Everybody's not always right. Definitely not always good. But you had dynamite drummers tonight. And they were all good. I need them to smile a little bit more. Yes! Smile goes a long ways. And this way, people will love you. You can look at the folks. You can tell the ones that are happy. The body moves. All right. I had one time in my life that I remember when somebody in the audience hollered, "Purdie Shuffle!" No, don't ever do that. That just makes it longer to come. Now I gotta get all my stuff in now. Have fun. I don't care who comes up. Have fun, and you'll be good. Now you got a long ways to catch me, though. 'Cause I'm Purdie. For those of you who don't know it, all drummers gotta play the Purdie shuffle. Too many songs out there. And when you finally give in, you'll work all the time. All right. Okay. That was lesson number 1010. So you see, you got a ways to go to get there. I know. I understand. But I usually take you around the world when I do the Purdie Shuffle, so you don't get tired of one thing. And before the day is out, we'll probably do 2,000 different beats. Y'all don't want to hear all that. So I'll just sneak it in, little by little. You've been here a long time, so I want to make sure that you get and understand where I'm coming from. I like what I do. I enjoy what I do. And I smile a lot because it's inside me. And I want to make sure that you stay with me because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Questions? No, I know you don't have any questions. It's all right. It's okay. But the beauty of it is that I got your answers before you even know that you have questions. I have fun and I enjoy what I do. And that is the one thing that Mr. Haywood, my teacher, could not take away from me. Yes, he was strict and all this, that, and the other, but I had fun. But the beauty of it, what he did for me, is that he taught me music. And the drummers all around the world ask the same question. Purdie, do you write songs? Do you read music? And I say every time, I do everything that you think that I do and more. I am good at what I do, and I want you to know that I am. Now, what I try to do is make it as easy as possible. I don't put the stress on you. I'm not going to take you around the world without you having fun with it. I want you to enjoy my trips because I'm going to enjoy it. My body works all the time. It's about feel. It's about an attitude. And my attitude is the most positive attitude in the world because I love what I do. It only took me 30 years to learn the Purdie Shuffle. But I was determined to make this work. Now, it took me 20 years to do this one. That one, yes, I got that one in the 80s when drummers found out that they can get away with that with dance music. And then the next thing you know is that beat was a killer until the rappers got a hold of it. Then I lost the money because the rappers stopped paying. But at least it took the weight off me of having to play with the click. I hated the click because that was my job to be the timekeeper. So I learned how to be the timekeeper. But I also realized all the things that you want, that you tried, that you feel good about, you got to work at it. You have to work at it. And don't let anybody tell you about age. That's just a number. You can all do it, but you got to make it work for you. That's the key. That is the key. Love what you do, and it will love you back. Grow with it. Give yourself the opportunity to make things work for you. Keep it simple. And what I'm about to say to you, I don't want any of you, to take it the wrong way. It's a thing called keep it simple, stupid. That is what you learn when you want to work 24/7. You can do this with anybody. It's just a matter of following the recipe. If you keep it simple, you will work 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Which means you can earn some money. Because that's what they want. Now you get to that point in life, well, we as musicians on the last part of the pole to make money. The person that makes money, engineer, the producer, the writer, the artist, and keep on going. You keep on going until, maybe 30, 40 numbers down, the musicians. Not right. It's not right. You work so hard to do what you do, and you're the last man on the totem pole. So, I am not going to be the last man on the totem pole. I'm going to look good doing what I do and make sure that they pay me. And if they don't want that, I'll go around the corner and play the music for somebody else. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and what you do. Have fun, enjoy, and make sure that you're doing it for the right reason. It ain't the money. Because your enjoyment is you doing what you do and everybody liking you. I get called every day. My wife took the phone away from me. Said, you got to do some work around the house. Mess up my thing, man. So I had to change things around a little bit. And I did. So I decided I'm going to make her happy. I'm going to play a song for her. I want her to know that I loves her. But the song has got to be something that jumps out at you. Hey! Boom, boom, boom. That's all. It's called enjoyment. Have fun. Enjoy what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life. Yes, this is a job. It's a job. But boy, what kind of fun you can have, especially for drummers. Because there's only one in the band. It's not like it was 60 plus years ago, playing with James Brown with 2 drummers and a percussionist. Yeah, that's right. That was normal. That was normal. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to take you there. You can read it in my next book. Folks, you got to have fun. You really have to have fun and enjoy what you do. If you enjoy what you do, I guarantee you, especially for the young and up-and-coming drummers, you're going to understand there's a lot to what you have to do. So the practice is always going to be the hardest on you. So don't worry about it if you're not getting it all together right away. Take your time. Take your time, and sure enough, it comes to you. It really does come to you. Practice makes perfect. But you can only do it when you're at home or in the basement or just like, forget about mom and pop. Go downstairs in the basement and practice. You don't have to be super loud. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Keep it simple. I don't have to put that other word in there. Just for you to remember. Keep it simple. So nobody has to know that it's not a bad remark. It's not. It means that you've learned your craft. You've learned your craft. And that is the best thing in the world that you can do. It's like the young men that were here today. They learned their craft. And they like what they do. No. They love what they do. That's why they can go on and on and on. Because there's no limit. There's no limit for what you do and how you do it. They make it interesting for you. They make it work for you. And they make it happen. It's the same. I just do mine a little different. All righty, I see a hand moving around over there. Well, you're going to have to stand so I can hear you. You either have to come closer. Don't be afraid. We want everybody to hear. The quality of the drums and the sound of the drums. To me, that's the joy. I love what I can do with drums. Sound is everything. But the joy of it is that you don't have to kill drums to make it sound good, feel good. It's having a positive attitude about what you're doing that makes things work. It works. It will always work. That's what they say, practice make perfect. Yes, it does. But only if you want to get into it. If you want things to happen for you, learn your craft. And when you learn your craft, there's nothing that you can't do. Nothing. Now, my students, they're from all around the world. I'm still working because my students have done that for me. Yes, the students have done it. And the next thing you know, my students become the hit makers with the hit maker. I get called to do the job. So it's a win-win-win situation. So I look forward from hearing from my students, and more I'm sorry. I love them because they have come forward to give me accolades that, wow. I'm a super humble person at this point in my life. I have hundreds of students that just last week, it was Purdie Day. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And I was in seventh heaven. And I'll kill anybody and let them know that I was crying. I'll murder you. Whew. Goodness gracious. So you want to be my friend, be cool now. Just be cool. That's all you have to do. Boy, it was beautiful. Last Sunday. And I don't want to hear all this on the internet and keep it to yourself, at least for a little while. I was in seventh heaven because it was so beautiful for what they did. The biggest names in the business. Oh, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just so happy that they talked about me. But not one of them talked about my good looks. So it's all right. It's all right. But you talking about having fun? Boy, did I. I really did. So you'll have to take my word for it for the time being. I mean, you'll find out for yourself later anyhow. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And millions of people are going to be seeing it. It's a wonderful, 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 wonderful thing that when it happens to you while you're above ground. Yes. And I don't know how my wife kept it from me, but it was a secret. And people from all over the world came to it. And when I saw all the people that, I recorded every one of the folks. Every one of them. And they were all drummers. And it was like, I can't believe. I just can't believe this. But it was my day, last Sunday. So, now, I guess I better let you answer a couple of questions, and then we will pack it in, and I'll go ahead and stick the Purdie shuffle in there again. Okay. Anybody else got? Oh, good. All right. Well, you all right now? Everybody's all right?
I have a question. Imagine that, right? Me have a question. So tell me your experiences with Bucks County drum and Trinity cymbals. Tell us all about that. I know how you got it. I know where it is. But I want people to know what you feel about Bucks County drum. Thank God we're friends.
I love them. And I will be selling them all around the world, as I did with the other companies that did things for me. But now, Bucks County, you got it, and I love it. I love you for it. And thank you for being here, coming here with me. It works. The point is, that's what we talk about. That's what the smile is about. That's what happiness is. That's the feel that you get when somebody is doing something for you. I'm happy. And they can keep on making beautiful drums, making the sound. The bass drum is a monster because I can play it any way I want. I can make it work. I get it. I'll get it. And I'm tickled pink because they look after the players. They wanted the players to understand what they have. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, it was that way also. We lost something on the way. The big guys lost. And it was smaller companies that's now coming back with the things that we need more than anything. Feel, attitude. It's a wonderful feeling. I'll come running anytime he asks. They did for me what the big guys forgot. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's just... I made a lot of friends. Yeah, I made a lot of friends with the other guys. But they had their chance. And when they don't allow you to do what you do best, you move on. It's okay. You know, I'm finally at the age where I'm young again. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I learned how to do this. I really learned how to play the drums to make everybody happy, especially me. I want everybody to know how happy I am because I'm good. And I want everybody to know how good I am. And how good looking. So my wife didn't have to, she didn't hear that. You know. She's in the back of the room. Yes! It's all about love. You love one another, it works. It really does. But when you get into that and you make it work for you, wow. Yeah. Do you know that more than half of you here today bought merchandise? Yeah. That is a test of your testimony. You're coming out to see me and this, that, and the other, and they're happening. So I appreciate that. So get down to one last little thing. I'm going to take you around the world here for a second. Doesn't take that long, you know. But this time, I'm going to let it all out.
Come on, baby, blow it up. Woo! Come on, baby.
And of course, Purdie Shuffle will be in there. You don't have to ask me again. You got it. Woo. Just so you know, the Purdie Shuffle is not played fast. It is not. If you play it the way I play it, what I do, you have lots of love. You got lots of love to give, and you can do just about anything you want. Just remember, It is a two-bar phrase. It's a two-bar phrase. The backbeat is not on two, it's on three of the bar. First bar is on three, second bar is on three. And all the little things that you put in, those are goodies. And they're called rebounds. Those rebounds give you quality of what you need, sound-wise, and how to make things work for you. So, in order for you to appreciate, I'll take a good 5-6 minutes, make things work for you. But I'm going to bring it on